What I want to talk to you guys about today is this idea of making change and why it's so personal to me. A lot of times when you talk to someone on student council, for example, about their experiences, they'll say, oh, well, my student council didn't do much. And you ask them, well, why didn't you run for student council? And they say, oh, well, I didn't really like the people on student council. I don't really think they do much. I kind of just did my own thing, kind of just brushed it off. But when I look back at my experience in high school and my experience in particular with student council, I realized just what an opportunity we all have as young people to make a positive difference in our communities. Let me give you an example. My good friend Natalie, who was the student trustee on the Catholic District School Board in Toronto, realized that the privatization of water in developing countries was a huge issue, and that water bottles were being wasted day in and day out right here in Toronto. And so what she did was she consulted trustees of the school board, and instead of just talking about the issue, she actually wrote a policy around water bottles in the Toronto Catholic District School Board. My other friend, whose name is Stephen, actually in a rural school board in Toronto, in Ontario, ended up actually suffering from depression as a kid. He actually left the school system for about 2 years, didn't think he would come back, and then ended up coming back and joining student council, just to kind of reintegrate himself into the school system, to kind of get to know new people. And when he got involved, he realized that his school board didn't actually have a strategy around mental health. That students like him tend to fall through the cracks because they just didn't get noticed. That teachers really didn't care because their priorities were elsewhere. And so instead of just complaining about the issue and going home and being discouraged, what he did was he wrote an entire strategy around mental health. He rallied people from his school board, brought them together at the same table, and told them about his concerns, and moreover, actually did something about it. Now he's off to university, doing his own thing, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, what an incredible leader this person was, and what an incredible impact he had on his own community. And so what I want to talk to you guys today about is my experience in high school and how that's defined the way that I look at the world, as well as what I'm trying to do today, which is start up a new nonprofit organization called the Student Voice Initiative. The Student Voice Initiative is a nonprofit that we're just starting right now. It's still in Dropbox and Google Docs and Skype mode. It's not really up there yet, but it's something that I feel very passionately about, especially since I left high school and went off to university. When I went off to university, I found a lot of people who had done incredible things in their communities, like many of you. And I noticed that a lot of them had a tendency to kind of strike a really defining line between what they did in high school and what they're now doing in university. When I left high school, I told myself, okay, that was a thing of the past. I'm ready to be a new person now. I'm ready to take on new challenges. I'm ready to kind of be in the real world, so to speak. And then when I looked back and I looked at a lot of the extracurricular activities that were out there in university, I realized a lot of them were kind of full of fluff. A lot of people were really caught up in titles. People wanted to be president of this, chair of that, founder of this, co-founder of that. And when you dig a little deeper, you realize that not a lot of them have too much substance going on. And that if you really want to find those real change makers, you really had to look at the people who had actually done it in high school. And so what we're trying to do now is we're trying to reach out to young people, very much like yourself, and to get them to come back into high school. And not just talk about their own experiences, but actually mentor other students to do the same thing. So Natalie, for example, Stephen, for example, these are the people that we're trying to work with to bring them back into high school and to actually get them to mentor other students in their own communities. So here in Ontario, we have something called the student trustee position, which is a student representative that sits on the school board. And what we realized after leaving this experience was that this was the only thing that really existed in Canada. That in New Brunswick, in 2009, they enacted legislation to try and pass the same position, but that Canada in itself was kind of uncharted territory. And so what we did was we reached out to a student in Vancouver, pitched her the idea, and now she's taking it and running with it. And she was actually just in the news a couple of weeks ago talking about the amazing work that she's doing with policymakers to try and establish the student trustee position in Vancouver.